Okay everybody, today we're here at the miter saw. I need to make 12 cuts at 3 3/4 inches long, and that's on these 2x4s right here because I need them as spacer blocks to make little squash blocks in between some framing. So what I need to do to cut these, repeatable and accurate, because the way they're going to sit, if they're not exactly 3 3/4, then everything else will be thrown off, because this is it's not really just rough framing. There's going to be sheetrock involved and a door jamb. So these actually have to be accurate for me to make this easier for myself later when I install the sheetrock and the door jambs and the moldings. So what I need to do is cut these to exactly 3 3/4, and I need 12 pieces. When you make a mark on your board, you'll realize that 3 3/4 is very short. You can't hold it on this side where you can make the cut, because it's very dangerous to keep your hands there. You can hold it on this side here, but you've got to make sure that you're cutting on the right side of the blade for the waist. You don't want to cut on the wrong side of the line, because then you'd be making your pieces too short by the width of the blade or the kerf of the blade. So what we're going to do is, because it's very difficult to set up a stop block, right? Because if you have a stop block system, they hit the side of the fence and there's really no way to get it past there. Some people, what they'll do is they'll mark out 3 3/4, and then they'll make a mark on the fence, and then they'll go and they'll hit that line, but that's also not accurate every time. So I'm just going to show you a really simple way to do this where it's safe. You keep your hands away from the blade and you can still use your stop block. So the first thing we're going to do is, I'm going to put my safety equipment on here real quick. I'm going to make a cut. I'm just going to square up this edge right here. I'm going to move this out of the way just temporarily for a second. What I'm going to do is take this piece of scrap 1x4, cut this nice and square. Temporarily move that out of the way for 1 second, and I know that I have 90 degrees there, and the board that I am working with here, I cut this to 90 degrees. So now what I need to do is I need to cut 3 3/4. So I'm going to mark out 3 3/4 on my board right there. Nice dark mark so I can see it. 3 3/4. Move my tape out of the way. And now what I'm going to do is, you see how unsafe this would be if I had to cut and bring this to this side of the line, bring it down, and bring it on my mark right there. And so if I was to do that, then I would actually be in a bit of trouble, because this can move, it can suck my hand into the blade, and we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is, I have it in place right now, right? So what I'm going to do is take that scrap, and I'm going to butt this up against the fence and butt it right up against my board, just like that. Then I'm going to take my clamp. Now, all miter saws have a clamp. I particularly like this one the best because it's very easy to use. Just take that and then just lock that in place. And now I know that this isn't going to move. So I have my board into the section where I need it. And just in case this does move, now you can actually take your stop block, and you can bring your stop block up to that board right there and lock that in place. So now you have 2 points of security here. If this does move, you know you're going to get it right back in that same position, giving you your exact 3 3/4 cuts. Now, what I do recommend also is, when you're making this cut, not only are you going to secure it on this side where your hand is out of the way completely, you're going to wait until the blade stops spinning before you pull up the saw, because now you have what's called a trapped cut. And if you don't wait for the saw to stop spinning and you lift it up, there is a potential for this to get caught in the kerf of the blade and bring it up and spit it out in your face, and it could injure you. So let's go ahead and make that cut. So we're going to hold it just like this. I'm going to hold it up against the fence. I'm not going to be, once I get it here, I put the pressure there, that's it. So now I'm going to be holding it against the fence and not pushing the pressure here, because once I make the cut, I don't want to be jamming this into the blade. And I'm also going to be, with the slide saw, I'm going to be coming out this way and coming down and pushing this into the cut this way. Wait for it to stop, and now I can, you see now, if I was to let this go, right? See how that got trapped inside there? Now, if I was to do that while the blade was still spinning, then that would have kicked this piece up into my face, and that blade is spinning really fast, and that can cause an injury. Push this to the side, take my next piece, make sure I don't have any debris in there, push this piece up against it, and make another cut. Just start stacking your pieces. Okay, so you can see that I have 3 pieces that are all exactly the same, thanks to the stop block system, and you can do this safely. Okay guys, so that's it for this quick video today. I hope this tip helped you guys out in making your cuts on the miter saw safer, faster, efficient, and a lot more accurate with repeatability on the stop block. And anybody can do this, obviously. No matter what saw you have, they always come with a clamp. Some are better than others. Obviously, this one is better because you just push it down, lock it in place. The other miter saw systems I don't really like because you have to screw down the clamp and it kind of takes time, but you can still do it. Usually what I used to do on my DeWalt that had the screw down system was, if I didn't want it to take me forever to clamp down on it by using just a 1x, which is 3/4 of an inch thick, you would have to screw the clamp down all the way. Just take an extra couple of boards like this, and then you would be able to just screw it down a little bit, lock it in place. But that's a lot of people have DeWalt, so that's why I'm telling you that trick, because I used to have a DeWalt myself, and that's what I used to do, to take up some of that slack and make the clamp move a little bit quicker. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you check the links in the description box for all the tools that I use, and I hope this tip helped you guys. Make sure you hit the picture of the notification bell. It's going to notify you every time I upload a new video, and also hit the picture of that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time.